Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Out of the Fog. I'm your host, Laurabel. We have a great show for you today where we'll be talking a little bit about music and medicine and the gathering place. But before that, I'm going to introduce you to the musical stylings of Mr. Charlie Barfoot, who has a little bit to do with what we'll be talking about today. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. I'm now joined by Michelle Murphy and Brad Moss, who are part of Team Broken Earth. Guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having us. It's an honor to be here.
I'm so glad. I'm so excited to get our viewers, let them get a chance to know a little bit about who both of you are and what Team Broken Earth is about. So, Michelle, let's start with you. Who's Michelle?
I'm a registered nurse and a board member of Team Broken Earth. Team Broken Earth originated, we began in Haiti after the earthquake in January of 2010. My first mission with Team Broken Earth was in 2013, and I have embraced the journey and have loved every minute of the journey, and I'm still doing it to date. It's a tremendous organization, a rather large team. We've grown from this small team in Newfoundland, and we've expanded all across Canada with teams in most of our provinces, Canadian provinces. And we've expanded from Haiti to Nicaragua to Bangladesh. We've did some time in Ethiopia. During the pandemic, we actually expanded to Labrador. And we did some teaching missions in Nain and Goose Bay. Post-pandemic, I'm very happy to say that we're finally up, and we've had 3 missions in Guatemala, and we're heading to Guatemala tomorrow on a surgical mission with a rather large team of, I think there's 36 of us.
Oh wow, that's a good group of people.
It is, yes.
Super excited to talk a little bit more about what Team Broken Earth has been up to.
Sure.
And Brad, who's Brad?
Well, I'm Brad Moss. I'm a member of the Lions Club, and since, 1925, the Lions have been committed to site conservation and work with the blind. I was fortunate enough and lucky and coincidentally got involved with Team Broken Earth in 2015 when we inherited a fairly large problem in the form of about 30,000 pairs of used eyeglasses that had nowhere to go. So I contacted Team Broken Earth to see if they'd be interested sometime in taking them down. I got a 3-word reply to that email, which is, "You should go." And I knew nothing about eye clinics or eye care. I had collected eyeglasses as a volunteer, but so did a little bit of research, and 10 months later, we went to Port-au-Prince and crammed 650 people through our pilot eye clinic, and be going with Michelle tomorrow to Guatemala on my 10th overseas mission. So we've done work in Haiti, Nicaragua, and Guatemala, and on this trip we expect to test our 8,000th patient.
Oh wow.
And so we've also expanded to do domestic clinics. We've done 11 of those, 5 at the Gathering Place. There's been a number with the Association of New Canadians and Choices for Youth as well. So 21 clinics, and 7 years later, almost 8 years later, here I am, bitten by the mission bug.
I like that, bitten by the mission bug. So you've happened to have done 10 missions so far. Michelle, how many do you have under your belt?
I've actually lost count. I'm well over 20 now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I actually just got back from Guatemala 3 weeks ago.
Okay, and you're going back?
And I'm going back,
So
yes.
just a brief snowstorm break and then
and then
back
back again, yeah.
Okay.
3 weeks ago, we did a rural mission, so we flew into Guatemala City, and then we took an 11-hour bus ride to Ixcan, which is near the Mexican border. And we did traveling clinics, so we onboarded the patients for this surgical mission that we'll be leaving for tomorrow. And I think we have around 70 surgeries booked for the week.
Wow.
Yeah, so it'll be a busy week, but we're all geared and ready to go and looking forward to it.
But you also do a lot of great work locally. So can you tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing locally to support people here?
We actually, we have partnered with the Gathering Place through the Vision Clinic, and I'll let Brad talk a little bit about that in a minute. And it's really good. The two organizations really gel together. We have the same focus in mind in helping people who need it the most. And so we've built on that over time. But during the pandemic, we actually did some vaccine clinics out around the Bay. So we did some of those. We also did some travel to Labrador. We've been to Goose Bay and Nain, where we did some educational teaching sessions. And we also did some onboarding of new Canadians with the Association for New Canadians.
Wow, so you guys are very busy here locally.
We try to stay as active as we can. We do understand that the need here is great, just as, you know, as the need is great in away as well.
Okay. So Brad, so what's going on that you guys have been working with the Gathering Place for?
We did our first clinic at the Gathering Place in February of 2017, and it was a a huge hit. I think we did somewhere around 80 patients in
wow.
one day. And it's much akin to the setup that we use in our clinics abroad, so the adaptation wasn't that difficult. We expanded then to a couple of other local groups that were helping vulnerable people. And then when the pandemic hit and the borders closed, we found ourselves sort of like a fish out of water. And as a Lions district, we sat around, scratched our chin a little bit and said, well, you know, why can't we just ramp up the domestic side of our eye care work? So we did that. And we were able to do, you know, a couple at the gathering place within the span of months, and then we did another one last spring, I believe, and we're overdue to go back down again. And those clinics, you know, people think about someone needing glasses locally, and the government will somehow look after them. And you know, kudos to the government; they do have a vision plan for folks. But when you have a client who is not quite sure what they're going to do for supper, it's kind of hard for them to say you need to be at an eye clinic in 3 weeks. So when we show up at the gathering place on a Saturday or what have you, we pop up and they're there already, and we just serve them right there on site. We've got a great partnership with Essilor Canada Foundation now. So not only will the gathering place client get a pair of recycled Lions eyeglasses, and they're sanitized and ready for foreign mission work, but Essilor Canada has a rep on site. The client will choose from a selection of frames, and they'll get a custom-made pair to their liking within, you know, 7 to 10 days of the clinic.
That's amazing to see such good work being done here locally, especially for vulnerable populations. So I know you guys have something exciting coming up. Can you let me know a little bit about that?
We do. It's Music is Medicine. It's a variety show. This is our second. We did one pre-pandemic that went over very, very well, and and we had another one planned, but then the pandemic hit and that was put on hold. So we're very happy and very excited for this one to be coming. As you know, Newfoundland has so much musical talent, medical talent as well, but musical talent. And you know, it totally amazes me when you sit around a table with a few others and you're attempting to plan that there's so much musical talent in medicine. And I think this one, I'm even more excited about it because the pandemic has been hard on the medical, you know, people in the medical field. And it's great, it's a great come out of it. Let's celebrate together, come out, see friends, colleagues perform, people that you didn't know had that hidden musical talent in there. And it's, you know, it's going to be a fantastic show. It was actually overwhelming, the amount of people that we had, you know, willing to volunteer their time and their talent on the stage. So we've got a fantastic lineup. There's some great headliners in there. You'll see the Fortunate Ones, and there is a connection with Team Broken Earth and the Fortunate Ones. Andrew James O'Brien, he actually went to Haiti on one of our missions.
That's so
yeah,
cool.
with Team Broken Earth.
So what day is this concert before we let you guys go?
It's March 4th.
Perfect. And where?
And it's at Holy Heart Theatre. And tickets can be purchased online. And like I said, we're hoping you'll come out, support two great causes, Team Broken Earth and the Gathering Place, and have a fun night, a relaxing night. For all those in medical profession right now, you deserve it, and it'll be a night to honor
Thank you guys
all the hard work.
so much for joining me. It's really amazing to talk a little bit about what Broken Earth is doing and how you're supporting the Gathering Place.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks
so much
very
for having us.
Thank
It's
you.
been great.
And we'll be right back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. I'm now joined by Kim Grant, who's the Associate Executive Director of the Gathering Place. Kim, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So we got a little bit to talk to both Michelle and Brad about Broken Earth, but I want to talk to you about the Gathering Place and what it's like partnering with them.
Absolutely. So, for those who may not be aware, the Gathering Place is a low barrier community health center located in downtown St. John's. So, we provide a wide range of services and supports to some of the most vulnerable in our community. And those services range everything from basic needs, from food, clothing, showers, laundry, to shelter.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we talk about a health center, we're talking about health in the broadest sense. And we're looking at all of the social determinants of health, those things that make people healthy, which are some of those basic needs. So when we were approached by Team Broken Earth and the Lions Club to offer the Vision Clinic on site, we welcomed that opportunity. As Brad indicated, it made such a difference in the lives of some of the guests that come to the Gathering Place, in that they were able to go around and for the first time be able to read and see.
That's really heartwarming to hear. And so, as executive director, you've seen things change. What has been the feedback from the clients and the people who use your services when it comes to the Vision Clinic?
So the Vision Clinic has made a big difference in people's lives. People who, like I said, have been struggling to be able to read or be able to see something across the room. So now being able to have glasses and be able to do that and have their vision tested, as Brad indicated, for many individuals who come to the Gathering Place, they're not able to access those services. So having these services come to them and available on site made such a difference.
Oh, that's truly fantastic. Now, we know the Music is Medicine concert is taking place on March 4th. What do you want people to know if they're saying, maybe, I don't know, should I check this out? What would you want them to know?
Well, you know, we're very appreciative to Team Broken Earth for having us as the beneficiary for their concert. A lot of what we do at the Gathering Place is really dependent on the support that we get from other organizations and from the general public. We have seen the demand for our services increase considerably over the last couple of years. We're at a point now where we've gone from having about 800 registered guests coming to the Gathering Place to now over 2,000.
Oh, wow.
We're serving over 3,000 meals a week. So the demand for our services continues to rise. We continue to see new people coming on a weekly basis. So the needs are there. And along with that, the costs of providing those services have gone up. I think anybody who's gone to a grocery store recently knows how much the cost of living has increased. So we're feeling that at the Gathering Place as well and trying to provide those meals. So we're really dependent on the generosity of the public. So having this concert and being able to contribute towards that makes a big difference.
It's very true. We talk about the way cost of living has impacted everyone, even the most vulnerable people sometimes forget that. I want to give you a chance to now talk a little bit about what the Gathering Place does to support the most vulnerable, like what services you guys offer and how accessible you are.
Absolutely. So the Gathering Place has been around for about 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And it started with the two congregations, the Sisters of Mercy and the Presentation Sisters, who used the old Mercy School to start providing a hot meal, a hot lunch to people who were in need. And from there, it's like this, build it and they will come, because we started to get more and more people coming to the point where we expanded that to provide meals 3 times a day, 7 days a week.
Wow.
But of course, as people were coming for meals, we recognized as well that there were other needs that were not being addressed. And earlier when I said we're a low barrier center, it means that the individuals who come to the Gathering Place, who we refer to as guests, have been challenged in accessing health and social services in the community. So by coming to the Gathering Place, we try to provide that integrated approach where they can access the services they need under the one roof. So they can, along with the meals, they have access to laundry services, they have access to our clothing boutique. So this time of the year, we rely on the generosity of the public and being able to provide warm winter clothing and boots to people who may not have that. We have showers. We have a social room where people can come and be involved in games or just watch TV, hang out. That has become their community. We also have a team of case managers, and their role is really looking at assisting people with navigating government services, helping people connect with services that they might need. It's also around looking at housing needs, and for somebody who might be homeless, helping them get shelter, or if somebody is in housing, helping them maintain that housing. In about 2020, we opened our shelter. Yeah. So that is a 30-bed emergency overnight shelter, and we're pretty much at capacity every night.
Oh, wow.
So that opens at 8 p.m. and closes at 8 a.m. And when people leave the shelter, they can come up to the main part of our building and access that range of services that I mentioned.
Oh, wow. So your emergency shelter is a 30-bed. So you guys, especially with the weather we've been having, you guys have seen it at capacity.
Absolutely. We've been at capacity for quite some time, but of course the demand increases in times where, snowstorms and cold weather. So we work with our community partners. We work with Newfoundland Labrador Housing, who make the referrals to our shelter. And if in those times where we can't have somebody out on the street, we've arranged another part of our building to be able to serve as an overflow so people can access that.
It's honestly truly heartwarming to see all the great work your organization is doing to support the most vulnerable and people who might need you while they're going through a rough time. If people wanted to find out more about the Gathering Place and what you guys do, how is the best way for them to find that information out?
They can look up, Kindness Wanted,
Okay.
and that will bring them right to our website. And we're also on Facebook, where they can access that as well. So that will explain more of what we do. It will also allow people, if they want to volunteer. Okay. A lot of the work we do, like I said, is contingent on our partnerships along with the volunteers that work with us and, of course, our staff.
Oh my God. So you guys have your hands full, and you're continuing to do so much work and pouring from your heart. I want to thank you for taking the time to join me to talk about all the great work you're doing and letting people know how best they can reach you to support you guys with what you do.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back, everyone. I want to give a very special thank you to my guests for joining me today to talk about what Team Broken Earth is doing around the world, but more importantly, what they're doing here locally to support the Gathering Place. If you're looking for something fun to do on March 4th, please check out The Music is Medicine at the Holy Heart Theater, knowing that all proceeds are going to support the Gathering Place here within our city and our province. I'm going to leave you now with the musical stylings of Mr. Charlie Barfoot playing his own Carnival.
Hi, I'm Justice.
And I'm Nia, and we believe dreams fuel revolutions.
That's why we're engaging with Canadian icons and the causes they support.
Join us for these inspiring conversations and find out how you can be revolutionary.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
I did it.
I need it.
A hero gave it.